me, but if you know my work, you will see that I'm always trying to find a suitable camera to tell a story. So if you came here to listen to some nerdy technical gear stuff, this is not a video for you. I'm here really to give you an honest, non-biased opinion on shooting good quality film. I'm just going to give you a practical and also more reliable answer of both systems. So hey, welcome back. So as you can see, this is a different setup. I just wanted to really do this in good conditions. I couldn't record in my studio in my living room because it's just super hot and I cannot even think about putting on the lights on. So anyway, as you can see, this is really relaxed. This is a relaxed interview. You need to be relaxed anyway to shoot film or to talk about film. So let's do a relaxed interview. Anyway, this video is going to be about my experience with the Pentax 6.7 and the Pentax 645. Whether the 645N or the N2, but just the Pentax 645. So this review here is not going to be any bias. So it's not because I shoot the Pentax 645 that will influence my decision on this video. This is going to be really honest, and I just want to really give you my perspective as a person. Like, this is not my first time to shoot 6.7. I just wanted to say this. I've owned myself a 6.7 camera before, the Mamiya RB, and I've also tested out many other cameras. But I felt like this was a really interesting video to make because the Pentax 6.7 has becoming one of the most used common camera on YouTube among YouTubers. So as the Pentax 645, it's not that popular. Like these days, the past 6 months, I've seen a lot of people coming out with the Pentax 645, but I just want to say that it's not because something is popular that it means it's the best. There's a reason why most people like the Pentax 6.7. Obviously, it's the format, but also the lens. So I had the chance to do a photo shoot with that lens, the legendary 105 f2.4. So I just wanted to, let's just get into it. Let's just talk about, first I'm going to talk about my 645 Pentax.
Got more? I'm like a analog virgin, brother.
Yeah, but this is not your first analog camera.
It is.
Is it?
First.
Jeez. So this man here stepped into film and he got himself a Pentax 6.7. He's not joking. So how do you like it?
Feels nice, man. Like actually it was the cheapest way for me to get into what's it called, like analog photography.
Yeah.
So I was like roaming around the streets of Copenhagen and found that little corner shop, and the guy was like, why are you like eyeing this one? Like,
yeah,
you're looking for an analog camera? And I'm like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I can sell you this one. You can have this one for like 2,000 something kroner. Just know that like the light meter is just broken.
You're like, give it to me.
I'm like, let's just do it without.
Yeah, like I actually never shot with like this system yet. I've shot with 6.7 before, but I haven't shot,
Not unlike the
the
Pentax.
Pentax. Like I've always heard it's big, but to see it like this,
It's a
it feels-
heavy dude. It's a heavy dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you really need to like accustom yourself with it
Yeah.
to it. But
And also the grip is on the left. Like I'm left-handed. I don't mind to.
exactly.
to
I mean,
hold
I
it
got
there,
this
but
like
if you're
sexy
not-
grip. It was sold with,
Yeah.
and it's I mean, you guys like check this out, like Japanese quality. Oh my lord.
This is nice.
Ooh,
looking good.
Japan. I'm coming for you, Japan. I love your crafts.
Yeah. So look, so we're going to. I have my. Where is my camera? So as usual, I have my 645 Pentax. So we're doing a Pentax comparison today. The 645, not versus, but really to see how the 6.7 perform. And to be honest, the weather is not really good. I'm so surprised to see today. It's a little rainy, it's cold, and but let's see, we're gonna find out. He's shooting on Portra 400, and I'm also going to load Portra 400, which is gonna be enough with this weather. So let's go. Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
First, let's just talk about the Pentax 645. If you have not seen my video where I'm talking about my experience with the Pentax 645, please go check it out because I made a video. I own this camera thing for almost a year now, and I made a video where I talk about basically the pros of owning that camera. So here I'm also going to talk about the pros and the cons. So let's find the pros. Again, I just wanted to say this, a big disclaimer. If you follow my work, if you know my work, not to say that if you know me, but if you know my work, you will see that I'm always trying to find a suitable camera to tell a story. So if you came here to listen to some nerdy technical gear stuff, this is not a video for you. I'm here really to give you an honest, non-biased opinion on shooting good quality film. So this is not going to be any technical. I'm just going to give you a practical and also more reliable answer of both systems. So come on. So the 605, as you know now, one of the reasons why I like that camera so much is, first of all, I can rely on this camera. And this is something that to me matters the most. Like, I rather have gears that I can rely on. Like, example, I have this Zoom H5. I know I can rely on this Zoom. Also, I'm filming with the Sony A7R II for my small videos. I also know that I can rely on this camera. So no matter how much Sony videos camera will come out, this is doing the job. So same with my film cameras. The reason why I got this Pentax 645, it was mostly because I wanted to have a camera that I could rely on, a camera that I know no matter how much that camera could go through, I could shoot with it. And also the most important is to have 16 exposure. So unlikely with the Pentax 6.7, you only have 10 pictures. This one gives you 16. So those 6 extra pictures, to me, it's a deal breaker. Like, I cannot trade. I rather trade 6 more exposure versus more resolution. And I'm going to get into that. So, and also why I like this camera, because it just feels good. Like, it feels good in my hand. Let me just go pick it up. Let me just go take it. So here, as you can see, this camera feels good. Like, I know, like, just by the way I'm holding it, and also it's just ready to shoot. Like, if I put a film inside, and also the fact that this is electronic, so when you put your film inside, you don't need to wind it. And I know sometimes I miss it. with certain cameras, like to manually wind your film. Honestly, to have a camera that loads the film by itself when you take a pictures, it's something that I didn't know that I would really appreciate. Like one of the reasons that I love film is, the fact that I can advance my film, I can feel the resistance of the film. But this one was really special. So when you take a picture, you can feel like now there's no film in it, but when you actually have the film inside, you can feel the camera loads the film for you. So this is just too long because I'm talking about this camera. But anyway, just to say that this camera, I can really rely on this camera. Like to me, what is more important in photography is to find a tool that can help you tell your story. So whether you're shooting with a Mamiya RB, RZ, whatever is important to you, that's your style. My style, this 605 is just doing the job. So now let's jump into the Pentax 6.7 and the 105 lens. Oh man, something about that camera just feels. When I was taking picture with that camera, we did a random street photo shoot. So we were just stopping people on the street, and it was almost impossible to stop somebody asking for a picture and have that person say no, because the camera looked huge. And the fact that this camera is so big, it looks like it looks like a professional camera. It is a professional camera, but just the way it looks, if you're a person that wants to do like a street photo shoot, in terms of look, this camera is really impressive. Like myself, I've never shoot with this camera. This was really my first time. I've always been looking on, watching videos on YouTube, but this was actually my first time to have it in my hand, and I was like, wow. And you have a left hand grip. Like I'm left-handed, so that was really helpful for me to use my left hand, which is not the case for the Pentax 645N. This is a right-hand camera, so I think this. Most cameras don't have left-handed grip. So anyway, so the feeling of the camera was just, it's just a beast. It feels like I was like a baby with a big lollipop. That was the feeling that I had. But also just the people. I remember I was going to take a picture, when you have like two rows left, two frames left, and you just want to finish the frame by taking some random photo. And someone was actually looking at the camera. It was like, wow, this is a good camera. What camera is it? Is it film? Is it digital? I was like, oh, film? So that's how I got to shoot that person, just because the camera was just so big and so beautiful to look. So I just wanted to say that the reason why you might need a 6.7 camera, like myself, I don't think I would shoot every day with this camera, with the 6.7 camera, the Pentax 6.7 camera. Why? Because this camera is just too big to carry. To me, I'm a big guy. I don't mind to carry a camera that weighs, I think, 2 kilo or maybe plus. I don't mind, but sometime in certain conditions, especially if a person that travels a lot, you just want to have the most smallest camera that has the most compact features. In terms of usability, I think this one is definitely more easy to use because of the autofocus system, the winding, and also you have double exposure. You have a light meter inside, which is really, really good. So if I have to choose which camera is the best, I think you already know my decision. I would say I would go with my Pentax 645. Not because, as I said, not because I own this camera, but just because of those 16 extra exposures. Like I don't want to have, as I said, I don't want to have a camera just because it shoots 6.7. I rather lose that little bit of extra resolution to trade them with more exposures. And I think If you're just a person that does not travel a lot, if you're just maybe taking pictures in studio or doing more uh, landscape work, I think the Pentax 6.7 is a really, really good camera. But if you're a person that travels a lot, I think you're just going to have just headache to travel with the camera. It feels like my old RB67. It's just too big. And also, when I say too big, at home it's fine, but when you start traveling, when you have those extra kilo that you just want to get rid of, it becomes really, really difficult to carry. Especially if you're traveling, it's always good to have two cameras because something can happen. So I don't see myself traveling with the Pentax 6.7 to example to some African countries or to Southeast Asia because it's just going to be too heavy. Especially most of the people that shoot film, we always have a digital camera to do some, B-roll. So I think if you really want to have a light travel bag with like a compact film system, the Pentax 645 will be your way to go. But if you don't mind to have some extra kilo for your back too, because think about your back, and also if you don't mind spending money, because honestly, film is becoming more expensive. As Kodak announced, the film are just going to go higher and higher again, which doesn't make sense. But my final word would be you really have to choose what fits your style. Like I'm going to show you some image samples that I shot with my Pentax 645, and also I'm going to show you the images that I shot with the Pentax 6.7. And I know in terms of image, there is no discussion. Like the Pentax 6.7 is the best. Like you cannot compare the 6.7 quality, resolution, bokeh, depth of field, everything with the Pentax 645. There is no comparison. But that is not why I'm doing the video. I'm really doing the video to show you that you can also get really good, crispy bokeh pictures with this 6.7, this Pentax 645. So really choose what fits you. I know I'm just going in circle, but choose what fits your style. Like if you are a person that shoots fashion in studio, maybe sometime outdoor, the 6.7 format is really good. But if you're a person that travels a lot, that means you can maybe meet some really interesting random people on the street all the time. And just to think about, you're going to burn 10 pictures, because in a roll of 120 you only have 10 pictures on the 6.7. Think about it on the long term. If you travel to many countries, like me, if I travel to many cities or countries, I'm not going to be taking pictures on the street with a 6.7 camera. First, sometimes you don't need that much resolution for your photos. And second, it's just costing money, honestly. So that's it. That's all I had to say. There is no, honestly, the cons is just the weight for the 6.7. I just have a problem with that camera being just super big. And also, mostly on travel. Like as I said, I don't mind to carry that camera around in my backpack now. I don't mind to be doing a photo shoot inside in a studio, like portrait photo shoots, but I don't see myself to go in places that I go and having that big camera. It's just going to get me in trouble. So yeah, that was my review. If this is your first time to be here, I'm Christian Zobadjila. I do film photography. I'm also a filmmaker. So please go check on my Instagram. That's where I post most of my content. And I'm going to post 2 pictures of the 645 and the 6.7. And please let me know which one is which. So I'm going to do my best to scan these frames my best. Like I'm really going to try my best to to scan this frame to be identical. And I know it's so difficult, like professional can tell, but I'm going to crop the 645 and the 67 pictures on the same size, and I want you to tell me which one is which. Okay? Can you do that? Okay, so thank you for watching, and see you on Instagram.